Today's the day we find out! Is Sports Champions 2 better than the original? The original had 3 good games out of 6. Let's see how many good games this has, also out of 6.
The first new change, instead of playing as a generic character, we make our own. I spent quite a while trying to find the best fits for me. I knew my hair was going to be tough, but there were some here and there that were possibilities. But then I came across this. Do you guys think it looks more Yu-Gi-Oh or Dragon Ball Z? And then the beard. No, not Seneca Crane. They had no full beard, so I had to settle for this, but does my guy look like me?
I'm picking up a high power level from over there. It must be him.
Then we got to play with our outfits. They're all based around the warm sports, because there's only 2 options for skiing. Get some inspiration from Go Sports Ski guys, at least if I remember correctly. Let's see, we have to wait for it to load. We have 2, alright, that has to be more, right? Yeah. And, alright, we already got double the amount. And then we got one we can't see. And now, we're ready to play. There's a few modes: party for when you have your friends over, which doesn't happen anymore, free play, and cup play. Let's go get our gold cup. First off, bowling. Bowling is rather simple here, but still fun. It straddles the line between a realistic bowling game and an arcadey one. The presentation of the game was done very well, as I enjoyed my character's reactions and celebrations. As in my video on the first Sports Champion, this series was compared to Wii Sports when it came out, and while I can see the similarities, Sports Champions does a few things to differentiate itself from Wii Sports. First off, and the most obvious, is the realistic graphics. My guy and I are basically matching in what we're doing. Speaking of which, instead of Wii Sports' public bowling alley, we have a professional bowling alley for us pros. And on the gameplay aspect, the PlayStation Move controller is much more accurate, so curving the controller can cause curved throws. And I think that's all the variety that is. Or, I was too busy throwing the ball at 100 miles per hour to do anything else. Also at the end we have the victory booth, which uses the PlayStation camera and AR to give you a cool picture. Even with the PlayStation camera used being old, so it's not the best quality, but the AR effect is a neat touch and I enjoy taking a photo in the victory booth. Next up, boxing. This boxing game is phenomenal. I went in with the mindset of just throwing punches and not really much else, but I had to adjust to do well. The mechanics are simple but necessary. Blocking is vital, which I learned quickly. You block your head, chest, or stomach by placing your hands up, neutral, or down. Once you're protected, you observe your opponents to see where you strike. You have to find the spot that they left open and strike. Once you wear them down, then you can go in with a flurry of strikes. It also feels like they actually struggled to get up. In the last boxing game I played, the opponents just got up. But here, we see the struggle of trying to get up. I like that small touch, and that other small touches like the bell when we restart, the stats in between rounds, and post-match celebrations by your guy all make it come together to give you the feeling that you are Rocky Balboa.
Yo, Adrian! I did it!
Boxing was great. Now let's see if this archery works. I had problems in the first Sports Champions with archery. It didn't work for me. However, it works in this one. Bet they had to take away the drawing back of the bow, which is really just a sound effect, but nonetheless, I'm glad to be able to play it this time around. All that archery entails is shooting more targets than your opponent under a timer. Simple but effective, as even if I had bunched in the last few seconds, you're scrambling to shoot one last arrow to pad your numbers. However, having 2 bows in the victory booth was silly. I needed an arrow to go with my bow.
Oh, that's brutal.
That was fun. And next we go play in the snow with skiing. This game marks a return to skiing as we had Go Sports Ski, which used the motion controls of the 6-axis controller to play that game with simple side-to-side movements. This game expands on that idea as we have the simple side-to-side movements, but have added the pumping to gain speed as well as having the ability to either crouch or stand to control whether we go full speed or stand to have more control over our movement, and the option to pump to gain speed as well. But look out for rocks on the floor as I didn't expect hazards on the track.
What?
But also standard stuff like grafting gave you big speed boosts. And tricks as well, which I was hesitant to do with the motion controls, but it worked out well. We've had fun on all the games so far, let's hope golf keeps it up. Golf is a similar situation to bowling. It's not a simulation, but it's a bit more realistic than an arcade game. It still works as a fun game, so I can swing as hard as I want when we're far from the hole, and tap it on in when I'm inches away. Not much else here, but it feels better to use the Move controller rather than the regular controller, so it seems justified in its juice as well as fun. I got another fake out moment though.
God damn it!
I wasn't the only one though.
Oof. It's rough. It's rough.
Just one more to go for it to be perfect. Don't let me down, tennis. Just as bowling and golf before it, a game that balances between realistic and arcadey. However, this is the jankiest of the games, with the limbs looking a bit odd at times, or how easy hits aren't always easy hits. It has more possibilities to be frustrating, which none of the previous games have been, which makes it a shame, as when it works, it can be fun to volley back and forth. But that might also be due to my tiring at this time. These games can get a little physical depending on which one we're talking about. Boxing is the most of the bunch, but all of them have a certain level of physicality that's just a bit of exercise. Although I can't play Wii tennis all day, so maybe it's just the frustration of the game that's dragging it down a bit. But at the end of the day, a decent game, but one that we've seen done better. And that's all the games. After playing each one, I think we have a 6 out of 6. Each game was fun and used the PlayStation Move controller to its fullest extent. Something that I find strange is that I got a comment saying that the original is better than this one, which I find difficult to understand as I had a much better time with this one. I'll come back at the very least to play the boxing game, but I don't have any desire to play the original game. It's sad that this game didn't get the love it deserved solely because it came after an underwhelming first title, but it definitely is a terrific game for having fun and a bit of exercise.
What's the matter? You got nothing left inside, huh? Because you're training like a damn bum, you know that?
Bum.
A bum!